All right, so I apologize for the technical difficulties, but let's pick up where we were. So we're working with the second example here, and we're trying to find the greatest common factor between 5v to the fifth plus 10v cubed. And we know over here that when we have x cubed or any variable cubed, it's x times x times x times or v times v times v, however many times for the exponent. So this means we have 5v's and this one means we have 3v's. So to know what the greatest common factor is between your v's, you can only take out as much as the smallest amount has. So if this has 5v's and this has 3v's, I can't try and take 5v's from something that does not have all 5v's. So the highest I can take is 3v's. So my greatest common factor is going to be 5v cubed. And then that's going to be my solution. Okay. So now what does that look like when you have a larger polynomial? Looks like this guy over here. So we have 4b cubed minus 2b squared minus 6b. If I have 4, 2, and 6, I have to figure out what the greatest common factor is between all three coefficients. Well, the highest factor is going to be 2. Okay, and then I have b cubed, b squared, and b. What is the highest number of b's that they all have? And it's just 1b, so it's going to be 2b as your solution. Okay, so here we were just finding what the GCF was. We were just finding what the GCF was between all three polynomials. Okay, the difference between example 1 and example 2 is now in the second set of examples that we're gonna work through. Not only are we going to find the GCF, but then we need to factor it out of the polynomial. And I'm going to show you what that looks like here in a second. So if you want to complete this process every time, I would suggest writing it down on a separate piece of paper, like on a piece of scrap paper, and keeping it close by so that way it doesn't take as much room up on the paper. And then hopefully as you keep practicing and you do more examples, being able to just look at a polynomial and pull out its GCF will become easier. So what is the greatest common factor? So we have to find what the greatest common factor is and then factor it out. And I'll show you what that looks like here in a second. So first we have to find the greatest common factor in this polynomial. So we have 3x cubed minus 12x squared plus 15x. So 3, 12, and 15. The greatest common factor is going to be 3. Then we have x cubed, x squared, and x. So my greatest common factor is x. Okay. So now I'm going to factor that out of my polynomial. When I say factor that out, I mean I'm going to divide it out. So 3x cubed divided by 3x gives me 1x squared. So remember with your exponent rules, when you're dividing two terms with the same base, you subtract the exponents. So then with negative 12x squared divided by 3x, I'm going to get negative 4x. Okay? And then 15x divided by 3x, I just get plus 5. Now, a good little test for yourself is that if you would go back and you distribute this in and multiply, you should then get the same answer. Okay? But this is our solution, and that's all you have to do. So let's do it again. Here we go. 8x squared minus 12x. Well, let's identify what the greatest common factor is and then factor it out. 8x squared minus 12x, 8 and 12. The greatest common factor, the GCF, is going to be 4. X squared and x, you've got x. So then divide it out. 8x squared divided by 4x gives you 2x. And then negative 12x divided by 4x gives you minus 3. And again, if I do a little check with myself and I go back and I double check, if I distribute and multiply, am I going to get the same thing in return? And the answer is yes. Okay, so now at this point, I want you to pause the video and I want you to try these last two problems on your own, and then come back and watch the rest of the video and double check your work with mine. So GCF for 6m cubed minus 12m squared minus 24m, we've got 6m, factor it out, which means we're going to divide. So 6m cubed divided by 6m gives me m squared. Negative 12m squared divided by 6m gives me negative 2m. Negative 24m divided by 6m gives me minus 4. Right, and then last one. Here we go. 4x cubed minus 8x squared plus 12x. We've got 4x. Then when you factor it out, you get x squared minus 2x plus 3. Reminder, double check your work by taking the coefficient, distribute it back into your polynomial, and see if you get the same answer as above.